All righty, my people. This is what we're doing, people. We're crunching those numbers, baby. Let's go. Carminucho's here. What's going on, baby?
Thanks for having me here, Roquino. You know, we're going to have a good time today. We're going to be talking about some stuff during fantasy football season, right? Some players that I like, dislike, some sleepers. And yeah, we're going to be having a good time, and hopefully you guys listen to us so you guys can win a lot of money.
Absolutely.
Right?
So, before anything, all right, the audio's good. Right. Audio's good. Mic check, 1, 2, 3. Hit me with a mic check.
Hello, hello, hello.
Oh, I think you're number 3.
Number 3?
Keep going, keep going.
Mm-hmm. Pedro. Pedro. Pump it up more.
Maxed out.
Okay.
Maxed out.
Pedro.
All right, before we start, I want to make sure everything's good. All right, perfect. We're good.
Good.
So I'm going to have the YouTube open in the chat. So first and foremost, welcome everybody to the very first episode. Crunching the numbers with Rocco, my co-host, Carminucho.
Yeah.
And we're ready to go. So what are we doing crunching the numbers? I'll tell you very simple. Crunching the numbers is if something sparks your head and you want to place a live bet degenerously, or as a degenerate, you're not going to do so because we will guide you on how to win some shkarol. Fantasy football season is right here, like Carmine was saying. I personally have been playing fantasy football for probably 13 years of my life. So fantasy is one of the things that I enjoy outside of the Italian universe.
Yeah.
Outside of growing up Italian, I love sports, and obviously I love fantasy football. And I wanted to give you guys and share some of my insights, some of my knowledge. And I got the human Wikipedia for analytics, Carmine right next to me. So I figured it was a great duo to start.
Great. Best duo there is.
So we're going to help you win some shkarol. We're going to help you win your fantasy football league. So if you do not quite enjoy sports or that kind of content, this is not the show for you. But if you like making money, this might be the show for you.
I mean, everyone likes that type of show, right?
Yeah, of course. So the goal for this one is we're going to go live every Tuesday till the fantasy year is over, helping you win, helping you get some pickups, helping you finesse your teammates for some trades, helping you with some lock bets of the day, bets that we like, and some ways to find some value in bets that you wouldn't on certain sport books and some sport books where they offer you some promotions that you can get some shkarol that way too. So listen, we're not saying we're going to be a millionaire here. We're doing this for fun. Bet responsibly, of course.
Yeah.
That's the number one thing. Only bet what you can afford. But yeah, this is a new segment. We're kind of testing the waters here. I'm hoping that this does create some interest from a lot of people. And I'm looking forward to having a good time over here.
Me too. It's I'm very happy we're doing this. And it's going to be, like I think Rocco said, we're going to have a good time doing this. We're going to have a lot of engagement. And yeah, let's win some money. And like I always say, but when you place a bet, you have to have a plan, right? Don't just go in there, like Rocco said, blindly, right? Because that's how these big casinos are built, from people that get their judgment impaired. We're not going to be impaired with our judgment. We're going to be structured, and we're going to win a lot of money. All right? And that's a promise.
Oh, that's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
That's a promise.
Structured.
I guarantee it. You're going to like the way you bet. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about first? Now, it's not going to be just fantasy football stuff to start. It will be, just because fantasy football season is right here. I'm sure a lot of you have or will be drafting soon.
Yeah.
So use this knowledge to what you will. These are our beliefs. And again, I am out of my 13 years playing fantasy football, I've won 6 times.
Yeah.
A couple different leagues and not in the same league. But, there's some expert analysis, as you would say. Yeah. There's a lot of people that credit themselves as fantasy football enthusiasts and study the numbers and all that. Then you wound up following their draft strategy. Yeah. And like my team last year, I almost finished in last place. So coming off a very down year, but I'm excited for this year. I got some insight, got some feelings, I guess, if you will, about some players. And I've just watched football long enough to know that fantasy football really just comes down to game flow.
Yeah. So like last year was a very difficult year to draft. a lot of players that were going in like the second to third round turn are actually this year going in like the fourth and fifth round.
Yeah.
So, for example, like T. Higgins, Devontae Smith, they were going in the late second, early third round. Now this year, I see that they're dropping into the early fifth, mid fifth rounds, right? So, it's a very different type of year. And I think this year, based on doing all the mock drafts I've been doing, I really feel like I have a strong sense of where my team is going to be and where your team is going to be. And we should be doing very good this year.
So I just want to make this clear. I'm going to go off the basis, 12-team standard PPR.
Yeah, of course.
All right, so that's our judgment on these players. We're going to say, they were a first round here, second round here.
Yeah.
So we're going to go based off a 12-teamer, standard points per reception league.
Yeah.
One quarterback format. Anything else is
no super flex. Super flex.
Again, too cute after that. Kickers defense. I mean, I don't know how in depth I'm going to go about that. Or Carmine, maybe defense. I can go in depth, but the kickers.
With kickers, it's very simple. You want to be You want to get a kicker that is part of an offense that is always in the red zone.
Right.
But here's the real kicker. Here's the real kicker, though. You don't want that offense to score touchdowns, right? So it's very sporadic on if a kicker is going to do good or not. The only thing you could possibly tell is if a coach is willing to go for it on fourth down or not in the red zone. That's one way you could tell if a kicker is going to kick more field goals or not. But other than that, it's a very sporadic stat.
Yeah.
And for defense, you could always play the matchups, right? I'm not really a big fan of drafting defenses high. Never was. I like to play the matchups, and usually that's the best way to go.
So you're a stream defense guy?
I like to stream defense,
I'm usually last two picks are my kicker and defense.
Yeah.
I don't see any need to go higher than that. But before we get into anything, I want to start personally with wide receivers this year. So we're going to jump into fantasy football.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we're going to give some players, give our analysis, give our intuition on how they're going to perform this year, where you should draft them, how we think they'll perform. And then we're going to get into other positions, and then we're going to give you our lock bets for the week until next episode.
Yeah.
I already have one in. It's going to be in for tonight, so stay tuned if you want to know.
Mine's Saturday, but...
Now, the way we're going to do the lock bets, actually, remind me later to explain the format, because it's going to be pretty much me versus Carmine at this rate. But let's jump actually right into what we're dealing with here. So, if I could get NFL, just give me 1 second.
Yeah.
I had to have it popped up right there. And I saw your first player, so I'm going to go to him.
Want me to go full screen too?
Wow, he's really down there this year.
Yep. Well, he might.
Okay.
He might start getting higher because he scored a touchdown his first preseason game.
All right. You good?
Yeah, we're good.
'Cause I'm good too.
Yep.
All right. First player we're talking about is Cincinnati Bengals wide receiver
T. Higgins, right?
The number 2 receiver on the offense.
Number 2 receiver on the offense. So real quickly, me and Rocco picked 30 players that we want to talk about, whether they be sleepers, players that you shouldn't draft, players that you should draft, and players that you should put on your roster just in case of injury or whatnot, right? The first player that we're going to talk about today is T. Higgins, right? T. Higgins is a player, like I was explaining before, that was going in the late second to early third round. This year, he's dropping in some of my mock drafts in the mid fifth, early fifth, late fourth at the earliest, which is pretty rare. So T. Higgins is falling in drafts based on the merit that he was injured last year, while also suffering from the numbers of Joe Burrow being injured. So T. Higgins is playing for a contract this year. He's pretty upset that he didn't get paid, so he's looking to prove his worth. And they actually have a big wide receiver in Tyler Boyd who left that took a good amount of targets. And Joe Mixon left town as well, who was their workhorse back that caught a lot of passes. This offense is very condensed. It's going to go through 2 players in the air. That's either Jamar Chase or T. Higgins. Joe Burrow is one of the best quarterbacks in the league, probably top 5 quarterback, and you want to have pass catchers in the offense with a top 5 quarterback. And I think T. Higgins is an amazing screaming value pick. And yeah, he could, if he wasn't injured last year and he put up the numbers that he should have, he would be once again going in the late second to early third rounds. So I think T. Higgins is a great pick.
Bounce
for
back
this year.
player.
Big time.
Yeah, so like Carmen was saying, contract year, what gets me nervous is with players that in the past that have requested a trade, usually their value goes down after that. So I'm a big, not numbers guy. I am a big numbers guy. I'm a big believer in the history repeats itself.
Right.
That's my one concern with T. Higgins is he wants that contract so bad. He wants to get paid so bad. And maybe he wants to be the one option on the Bengals offense.
Right.
Which we know is not going to be the case because there's Jamar Chase there, right?
Right.
But can we realistically see a world where Jamar Chase and T. Higgins get double-digit targets a game?
So T. Higgins, his targets are very high leverage, right? So he gets a lot of air yards, which means that the quarterback will throw him the ball like 30 yards down the field, right? So his targets are very high valued. He's going to get targeted in the red zone. And I do think, yes, it is possible that they could get double-digit targets each game because Joe Burrow figures to throw at least at the bare minimum 35 times a game, right? Bare minimum 35 times. So you got to figure T. Higgins could get at least a 20% target share out of that at the bare minimum. And yeah, they should be able to always be crossing that double-digit target share. So
okay, so give me your final stat line for a receiver that probably will go in the 4th round, maybe the 3rd by the time you draft.
I don't think he's going 3rd round right now.
Too high?
Too high, yeah. He's been falling. You'll see too that in the mock draft that he's falling
because a lot of, I mean, we could talk about Jamar Chase a little bit here too. A lot of people are taking him 1 overall. He's back to the 1 spot.
Where?
Many leagues I've been seeing.
Wait, Jamar Chase?
Jamar Chase, yeah.
Oh, I just talk about T. Higgins.
No, I'm saying.
Oh, okay. My bad.
With so much merit to Jamar Chase, how much room can there possibly be? I think the ceiling.
Oh, there's a lot of room.
Their ceiling is capped for
T. Higgins. I don't think so. I think you're getting this guy in the 5th round, right? You should expect at least 1,200 from this guy.
1,200 yards?
Yeah.
And how many tutties?
I'd say at least 8.
Damn.
At least 8. Yeah.
So how could he not go 3rd round then?
Exactly.
Given that prediction?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. Well, I can definitely see that happening. Joe Burrow's going to have to stay healthy. That's really what it comes down to.
That's all. Listen, it's all a game of chance, right? So I definitely feel like Joe Burrow should stay healthy, right? Last year was the first time he really got injured that seriously, right?
All right, let's jump into another wide receiver, which I think he's a little higher on this list.
I think he's lower, actually.
He's lower than T. Higgins?
Yeah. He's going a little bit later than him, like a half a round later.
Yes, he is. 33 ranked.
Mm-hmm.
He's the 33rd ranked. All right,
so here's I can talk about him?
Yeah, so Scary Terry, what do you got?
F1 Terry. F1 Terry, that's his nickname. F1 Terry is a player that I'm a big fan of, right? You know, he crossed the 1,000-yard threshold every year. A player that's always been healthy, right? You look at his stats throughout all the years that he's been playing in the NFL. He never misses games, right? And that's one of the best skills, right? The best ability is availability. And, you know, Terry McLaurin is not going to get injured. He's going to play weekly. And now he has probably his best quarterback that he's ever played with in his career in Jaden Daniels. Based on camp talk and stuff, they're going to drive the ball down the field, and Terry McLaurin is his number 1 target. I think on a receiving yard standpoint, he should be having the best year in his career. I could see him easily crossing once again the 1,200-yard threshold. He's made the 1,100-yard threshold a couple times in his career. I think he could easily make the 1,200-yard threshold this year as well, if not more. You know, it depends how Jaden Daniels develops as a rookie.
Yeah, you're putting a lot of trust in Jaden Daniels. I mean, he looked good pre-draft.
Yeah.
He looked good. Just with those rookies quarterbacks, you don't know.
Yeah.
Like C.J. Stroud is a dime a dozen, I feel.
Right.
Anthony Richardson was great up until he got hurt.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. Like, what the Commanders were stuck with the past 2 years or so, Jaden Daniels can't be worse than that.
You think so? I mean,
Yeah, 100%. He can't be worse than that.
yeah.
So,
All right. I mean, Scary Terry. What is his name?
F1 Terry.
Why isn't that Scary Terry?
Scary Terry's Terry Rozier from the basketball.
I thought it was. Oh, you know what? I used to play Madden, and there was a promo during October. It was like most feared.
Oh,
and a Scary Terry.
Okay, no. His real nickname's F1 Terry.
All right, so that's 5th round, 6th round.
Yeah, early 6th, late 5th. That's a value.
Would you say he has a low floor, high ceiling, or?
I say he's a safe pick.
Yeah,
he's a safe pick.
Is there upside in drafting a player like Terry McLaurin?
Yes, big upside.
Like what can we see realistically?
Realistically,
points per game average.
Points per game average in a PPR format, you could see at least 14 points a game from him easily.
And expect anything like that. I mean, for a 6th round pick, who wouldn't take that?
For a 6th round pick, and he's gonna get at least 9 targets a game.
Yeah, like, I could see 60, 7 catches. Nice 13 points.
More, like 80. I could see that. I see a 25% target share too.
Yeah.
When you draft a receiver, you want at least to have a 25% target share, right?
Yeah.
So if the quarterback throws the ball 40 times, you want 25% of those targets. So you want at least 10 of those. So that's key, right? So when you draft a quarterback, you should try to at least get a 25% target share.
Okay. And this guy, rookie.
Yep. Going very high.
Very, very high.
Yeah.
I'm talking 9th ranked wide receiver.
So I'm actually a big fan of his, right? I think down the line, he's going to be one of the best receivers in the game. Maybe it's going to be probably him and Justin Jefferson challenging to be the best wide receiver in football.
Malik Neighbors?
Maybe. Who knows? Of course.
Giants fan in
yeah.
me. I had to.
But
day to day, by the way. He's day to day.
Yeah, he's day to day.
Not as bad as we thought.
Yeah, thankfully. But I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be a very good player down the line. However, now his price tag is just too steep for me right now to pay this much for a rookie wide receiver. I feel like they also have a tight end and Trey McBride that could steal a lot of red zone targets and get touchdowns there.
Trey McBride's also the number 1 tight end.
No, he's like number 4.
That's 4. Crazy. Oh, yeah. He's very high up.
He's high.
I was looking at pre-draft. I'm like, damn, I know he was good last year.
Yeah.
But at the same time, bro, you could trust it. Why is he... we could get into that.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
But yeah, Marvin Harrison, I don't think it's fair to really... With running backs on the stand, because you know the system they're in, like Bijan Robinson deserved that high of a pick last year. I drafted Bijan, but I couldn't predict what Arthur Smith was going to do. Yeah. That's just the reality of the situation.
He's the worst, Arthur Smith. Thankfully, he's out of there.
This year's situation a little different, but for a receiver, I feel like it's very difficult.
Yeah.
Because you have to really understand the routes you're running. You have to really understand the playbook, and you have to also be an effective blocker.
Yeah.
That's the only way you're going to be on the field at all times.
I mean, he's going to be on the field at all times, Marvin Harrison Jr.
The issue I have with Marvin Harrison, it's not even with him. It's the fact that Kyler Murray's throwing him the ball.
Yeah, Kyler Murray's terrible. I don't like him.
So, also, he's a scrambling quarterback. Not a scrambling first. He does throw for yards, but I don't think he's cracked 4,000.
I'm not sure. That's a good question.
You know what I mean? Like, you're going to need, like you said, 25% target share.
Target share. He will get that.
You would assume... I can have Marvin Harrison going for a 1,000-yard season. I just don't see as much upside as Terry McLaurin or as T. Higgins can. And it's crazy because T. Higgins is the second receiver.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. So, like, I feel like I could get very similar value or very similar stats
later
from T. Higgins than Marvin Harrison Jr. And I'm a big Marvin Harrison Jr. fan. I think down the line...
I think he's a stud.
I think he was the best player coming into this draft. I have no problem with Marvin Harrison Jr. You know, if he played for a better quarterback or, you know, I'm not a fan of drafting rookie wide receivers, okay? Usually rookie wide receivers need a year or two, right? Not everyone's like Justin Jefferson that comes into the league and takes over, or Jamar Chase or Odell Beckham Jr., right? Some rookie wide receivers need some time. You know, like I said, Marvin Harrison Jr. is super talented. I love his father, right? His father won me a couple of fantasy leagues. Damn. 2006.
You're old, Carmine. You're old.
Yeah, 2006 fantasy football. He won me a fantasy league, right? So I'll forever, you know, I'm a big Marvin Harrison Jr. fan. I just don't think he's worth that price tag.
Yeah. Now, 3 spots under him. This is all according to NFL.com's pre-draft rankings, by the way. At 12, we have one of my favorite receivers ever, Davante Adams.
So Davante Adams, I put him on this list too. I'm gonna have him as like a do not draft player this year. You know.
Oh, okay.
I don't.
Why is that?
I don't. trust the system he's in right now, right? Antonio Pierce, he showed that he's willing to grind out games. He's willing to run the ball. They like to spread the ball around a lot, right? They got a tight end, a highly rated tight end that they're going to throw the ball to in the red zone. Jacoby Myers isn't going nowhere, right? He's still getting like those 8 targets a game. Mm-hmm. And the biggest issue is the uncertainty at quarterback. So
that's the issue. That's really the issue.
That's my biggest issue.
Devontae Adams is getting up there in age, but the problem is who's throwing him the ball.
Exactly. Uncertainty at quarterback. So I don't really trust none of the quarterbacks at, Oakland. There's 2 of them they have, and Las Vegas, sorry.
Yeah.
And I don't trust neither of them. And I feel like he has a high price tag for a player with those quarterbacks and a lot of uncertainty, right? There could be wide receivers more down the line in the draft that could put up similar numbers to him. So that's why I'm out on Devontae Adams for sure.
So why did the Raiders draft a tight end when they had, what's his face? The other one who was really good. He's like an athletic freak. And they drafted Bruce Bowers, the tight end?
Yeah, Bruce Bowers.
But why'd they do that when they already had a tight end?
I mean, Bruce Bowers is like...
Freak of nature?
Yeah, he was like very high rated. Yeah, he was
so
really good.
They're going to run like a 2 tight end like the Patriots?
Well, it's pretty common to run 2 tight ends, right? So that's...
Is it?
Yeah.
What
2
team
tight
did
ends
they last year?
A lot of teams. 2 tight ends?
No, I'm saying like fantasy serviceable.
Oh, no, that's not really...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's not serviceable, like, no. No, Bowers is going to be the every day, every play. No, but I meant like formation-wise, like during the games.
Yeah, of course, especially in run formation.
Yeah.
But so would you draft any Raider offensively?
Maybe if he falls to me, Zamir White, but that's the running back.
Is he their RB1?
He should be, yes. But they're also
like a
said
committee
Alexander
type, right?
Madison could get into a lot of the share too. But that's probably like the only player I'd be willing to draft. Jacoby Myers is too boring for me. And yeah.
He's going below, I'm assuming. Wow, he's way down.
Yeah.
Okay, next up, DJ Moore on the Bears.
DJ Moore. So DJ Moore, super talented, right? I have nothing against the guy's talent. Once again, he had a lot of explosion games last year. My biggest issue with him is that they brought in a lot of talent throughout the offseason for the pass catchers, right? They drafted Romeo pretty high at, I think, the 9th pick. And
Brock Browers, by the way. Browers.
Yeah.
Not Bowers.
Browers.
Okay. I kept saying Bowers. Somebody corrected us. So.
Okay.
Go ahead. Sorry.
It's all right.
DJ Moore.
Then DJ Moore, like I said, like he's super talented. I have no problem with him. The problem is that there was a lot of pass catchers that are very talented now into the Chicago Bears offense.
Yeah, they're loaded.
They're loaded.
They got ready.
Yeah.
For Caleb Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Like they set him up nice. I'll be honest.
Yep. They got Romeo. They got Keenan Allen. And, Keenan Allen is the type of wide receiver that takes those intermediate routes, right? Where he's going to get those 10 yards, 15 yards, those first down yards, the third down looks. That's probably going to go to Keenan Allen.
I love how, pause for a second. Where did Keenan Allen finish last year in points? Do you know? For receivers? It had to be top 5, right?
No.
No, bro.
No.
At one point, he was the 1.
But I think he got injured. He got injured, though. But at one point, he was going. I know against the Vikings, he torched us for like 200 yards.
Well, yeah, anyways, it's the fact that what blows my mind is how Keenan Allen was 2nd-round pick last year.
Yeah.
Is now the 34th ranked wide receiver.
Well, that's because, once again, it has to go with a lot of mouths to feed, right? So, fantasy football, yes, a lot of it goes with talent. A lot of it also goes with opportunity. There's a lot of talented pass catchers in Chicago right now that could get the ball at any given time, right? Even their rookie is very talented, who's going to suffer statistically because of Keenan Allen and DJ Moore being there.
I mean,
now, let's say if one of them gets injured, yes, opportunity could open. And plus, they also have a rookie quarterback. Who knows if he's going to be that guy right away, right? So that's another thing.
Ooh, this is an interesting one.
Yeah, I like him
Is he
a lot.
even lower, or?
He should be around the same area.
I'm not seeing him here.
He could be a little bit higher.
Oh, he's much higher. Cut that in half.
Yeah, Yahoo, he's about the same. Yeah, Yahoo's about the same.
So, Colts wide receiver 1.
Yep.
Michael Pittman,
super talented wide receiver. there's no one challenging him for target shares, right? He should be getting at least 30% of the targets.
30%?
Yeah, at least 30%.
So he's projected 3rd round pick right now.
Yeah. 3rd round they got him?
Yeah.
On Yahoo, I think they had him like mid 4th.
Really?
4th, yeah.
30% target share.
Yeah.
Going in the 4th round?
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Yeah. He's a good value pick. Michael Pittman, what I like about him is
Downs also recently got hurt, no?
Yeah. Downs recently got hurt.
Does that help or hurt Michael Pittman?
Doesn't matter who it is. If Downs is there, he's going to get his looks. If Downs is not there, he's going to get his looks.
Okay.
What's important too is they got their star rookie back, right? Richardson.
Yeah.
Very, very good rookie year before he got injured. And Richardson he likes to, drive the ball downfield. And Pittman is the type of wide receiver that can run all routes, right? He can run the short routes, he can run the intermediate routes, but he loves running the long and dangerous routes down the field. So, I like Michael Pittman. I think he's a great value pick, and that's someone that I would want to draft, right? I feel like I would be happy drafting a running back over like someone like Marvin Harrison and then coming back with Michael Pittman 2 rounds later because I'm getting practically the same stats that I could get from Marvin Harrison. That's why, you have to know who you're trying to draft.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think Michael Pittman's
he's a guy who wasn't originally on my radar, but he definitely is now.
Sold you on him?
Yeah, the 30%.
Yeah. So this is pretty interesting. My take on him is going to change drastically. Let me get you him.
Let me make you get him first. I can't search for him. Oh, where are you?
Control G and then PI. Got him?
Oh, yeah. Wow.
So here's a player that I'm very high on, but my outlook on him is going to change drastically if Brandon Ayuk goes there, right? So this is George Pickens. I like him a lot, right? I'm super bullish on him. Last year that he was dependent on to be like, the guy, he passed with flying colors, right? He had like over 100 yards, a couple of games. Very talented wide receiver, very good running with the ball in his hands, right? That's something that the Pittsburgh Steelers wide receivers are known for doing. As an organization, the Pittsburgh Steelers probably draft wide receivers the best, right? They always find those mid to late round gems in the wide receivers. George Pickens, wasn't a late pick, but you get the gist of what I'm trying to say. So the Pittsburgh Steelers know what they're doing when they draft wide receivers. The reason why I like George Pickens is he's going to be their number 1 wide receiver for now, with Deontay Johnson going down to Carolina. So there's a lot of open targets to be taken, and they should have better quarterback play this year, right? They have Russell Wilson, and they also have Fields to be their quarterback. So that's way better than what they had last year, right? Let's be honest. Way better than what they had last year.
You think?
Yeah.
Right, I gotta be honest. I'm not a fan of Russell Wilson at all. At this point in his career,
but better than what they had last year.
He had Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy, and made him look like 2 janitors.
But like I said, all he needs, Pickens, is his targets. Give him 10 targets. That's 10 targets from Russell Wilson. That's enough for him. I don't think
he throws enough anymore, though.
No, they will.
Russell Wilson throws like 30 times tops a game.
He's gonna get those targets though. He's their alpha.
33%. He'll get
at least 25. At least 25%.
Yeah, I mean, if I had Pickens on my team, I would too. Especially now, he's the guy.
He's the guy.
Who's the 2 receivers?
So now,
Pittsburgh.
That's what I was gonna say. Right now,
it depends on Ayuk status.
Yes, it depends on Ayuk status, right? If Ayuk goes there, I could say George Pickens is going too high, but his value is gonna drop too, right? However, if Ayuk doesn't go there, he's a screaming value. I'm calling it right now. He's clearing 1,100 yards. He's clearing 1,100 yards. Easy. Okay? This is a value pick.
I'm not in love with George Pickens.
I'm in love with him.
You could take him in my draft.
All right. No problem. You ain't got me complaining.
Let's see how that goes. We might have to also draft a GUI league and see how that goes. But you mentioned his former teammate.
Yeah.
Former 1 receiver. Now, I think he should be back to the 1. But just on a different team.
Yeah.
You got Deontay Johnson, who's ranked 32.
So Deontay Johnson, he's there to help. To help. to
To help Bryce Young?
Yeah, to help Bryce Young.
Because he needs a lot of help.
Yeah, he does need a lot of help. He's going to be their number one wide receiver. He's going to go catching a lot of the short and intermediate passes. And I see him easily clearing at least 70 to 80 receptions this year. And he should be able to clear 1,000 yards. And he's going pretty late in drafts as well.
He is. He is definitely slipping on the draft.
Yeah,
he's only projected 9 points a week. That's crazy.
But Deontay Johnson's more of a receiving. That might not have PPR. That could be standard.
No, it's PPR.
That's PPR?
Yeah.
Nah, he's getting more than 9 points a week, man.
I don't know.
Yeah, he's getting more than 9 points a week.
For 50, I can see that. The problem is, I look at a guy like Adam Thielen. Is he playing in the slot? That's what really matters in this offense.
They'll switch him up.
So if there's some versatility to the offense where he's not just lined up as the X receiver, he should get 7 targets at least.
At least. No.
Yeah. Because Thielen, at the end of his career, is getting 12.
Yeah,
13.
so here's the thing. Thielen fizzled.
That was a value pick last year.
Here's the thing, though. Thielen fizzled out at the end of last year.
Yeah.
Because he's older. Deontay Johnson is not going to fizzle out, right? Usually, I'm going to give you guys a tip now. Usually, the veteran wide receivers, beginning of the year, they come out like a bat out of hell. But towards the end of the year, they start to fizzle out.
Sell.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like Steve Smith Sr., someone like Adam Thielen, right? Steve Smith Sr., I'm talking about when he was with the Baltimore Ravens.
D-Hop last year.
They came out like bats out of hell, but then they fizzle out. So that's what's going to happen.
This player was the second-ranked tight end in the draft last year. Hey, boys.
What's up?
Now this year, we got him sliding to 29th.
You have second-ranked tight end? What's up, Mills? How we doing, boy?
We got featuring a cameo by Crunchin. He knows nothing about fantasy football.
You sure about that?
We're picking Tom Brady and the Eagles defense.
And that's enough for a fantasy chip, baby.
So,
Stefan Diggs.
Sliding. Right? Stefan Diggs.
Good guy.
Someone I would not draft.
Out here?
Someone I would not draft this year. I feel like there's a lot of mouths to feed in the Houston offense, right? There is Nico Collins.
Well, yeah, the wide receiver core there is probably the best.
It's ridiculous. It is the best 3 wide receiver core is in Houston right
Tank Dell, Nico Collins, Stefan Diggs,
and they also got
C.J. Stroud throwing for 6,000 yards or what?
Nah, like I say, like
I'm kidding,
4,500.
Yeah, I mean he's got last year.
And they got a red zone tight end in Dalton Schultz that could score touchdowns.
There's a lot of mouths to feed on that offense.
A lot of mouths. Now, don't get me wrong. Dalton Schultz is not going to shy away from Stefan Diggs. What's shying me away from Stefan Diggs is Nico Collins and Tank Dell. Those are 2 very, very good wide receivers. And I'm actually sad that Stefan Diggs went to Houston because it's going to kind of not make me want to draft someone like Tank Dell. Nico Collins is Nico Collins. I'm going to still want to draft him.
Would you say Nico Collins is the
number
third down receiver where you need a catch from a guy?
I think Stefan Diggs might be that third down receiver, man.
Because he was that role last year.
Yeah.
Tank Dell was more of the deep threat.
Tank Dell is a monster. Yeah.
So you think Stefan Diggs takes?
I think so.
He'll be the one. I mean,
Stefan Diggs is going to be getting those intermediate and third down receptions for sure.
Are you comfortable drafting him?
No.
At his value right now?
No. I wouldn't.
Would you draft Tank Dell over Stefan Diggs?
Well, Tank Dell's going later in the draft.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying, would you rather have Tank Dell
or
feel comfortable drafting him later as opposed to drafting Stefan Diggs at a spot?
So, like, statistic-wise, I think Stefan Diggs should have a better year. However, where he's going, I would not draft him. I was about to take Tank Dell at where he's going.
Yeah, that's exactly my point.
Yeah.
So, high projected player. He's projected to have like 14 points a game.
Yeah.
Which is feasible.
It's feasible.
I just don't think at that value you can really...
Touchdowns are going to be kind of hard to get to.
Yeah.
Right? Now, let's not forget, too, the Houston Texans are going to try... They're going to try to run the ball also with the workhorse running, with the signing of Joe Mixon. So it's not just going to be pass.
It's
right?
a lot for that offense.
A lot of mouths to feed, right? A lot of touchdowns to go, right? So.
And that's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
I can see, I see Stefan Diggs as a low ceiling, high floor kind of player.
Exactly.
He's not going to have those 2 touchdown games.
Not anymore.
150 yards.
Yeah.
but he will have 8 for 80.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
if you're content with that at his draft position, then you made a great pick.
Yeah.
If you're not gonna be happy, you can't expect a 30 bomb from Stefan Diggs anymore.
That's
There's just I don't see it being possible on
Exactly.
this offense.
Do you have that thing in the middle?
What?
That thing, Paul?
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't
On
sure
the
if it
stream?
was there or not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right,
Okay.
it's
Gotcha.
right there.
Gotcha. All right.
Who's next?
I think this is the
Oh,
last
yeah.
wide receiver we're talking about.
We're gonna have to do some lightning because we're gonna went 45 minutes over here talking about receivers.
We're on 45 minutes right now? Wow,
Talking about receivers.
So I'm a wide receiver guru. So
I could tell.
Rocco knows. Like this zero wide receiver, the zero running back strategy. People saying it started in the mid 2015. No, I started this. I've been doing zero running backs since Moses was in Egypt. Okay.
All right. Rashi Rice.
Rashi Rice.
He is not suspended this year. What's the situation?
No, he's not. So,
Okay.
So I don't know how.
That makes no sense to me.
Yeah, it makes no sense to me either. So Rashi Rice, that's a player. So let's move a little bit quicker, like you said.
Yeah.
That's a player that I'm going to avoid, partly because the Chiefs smartly added more high-quality players to their offense, right? They added Hollywood Brown, who got hurt, but it seems like he avoided a serious injury. They also drafted the fastest player to ever come into the NFL Combine in Xavier Worthy, right?
4.19.
Yeah, he flies, right?
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. They didn't draft him just to be on the sidelines. They drafted
Tyreek
him.
Hill Part 2?
Walmart?
So,
Yeah, who knows? I think they're going to kind of ease him in at first.
Yeah.
I definitely see Xavier catching screen passes a lot, and they want him to get yards after the catch. His hands have been a little shaky, so that's why they want him to catch like those high percentage passes. But Andy Reid is as good as any coach in giving the ball to fast players and then to make them do the work.
Yeah.
Once again, though, Rashee Rice is very talented. You know, he had a strong finish to last year. He was having like 8 receptions every game. But now there's more, good players, right?
Don't forget Kelsey. I mean, he's still there.
Exactly.
He's not going nowhere.
Red zone target and Kelsey. And they also got a feasible running game where, Isaiah Pacheco could ice out games. So just a lot of mouths to feed. Not that I don't like Rashee Rice, though. I think he's a very good player.
All right. Let's bump into running backs.
Yep. So this is our first running back we're talking about.
First round. Let's be a little quicker with the running backs. Just
Okay.
give your general
Okay.
prediction. He is on the Texans now. We spoke about this guy earlier.
Yep.
Joe
So-
Mixon. What's
So
the
Joe
deal?
Mixon, I think he's a great value pick, honestly. Now, I know it's not the sexy pick. However, Joe Mixon has shown a history of him being a workhorse back, and he's going to be in Houston to get goal line carries and also be the third down running back. You cannot ask for a better situation than this if you're Joe Mixon or Joe Mixon fantasy stockholder. So I definitely think Joe Mixon is a great value pick. I see him easily, clearing the 12 touchdown mark. I could see him getting 12 touchdowns.
So for a player currently ranked 17th as the
Exactly.
17th highest running back, you have some high praise for him.
Yeah.
Why is he falling?
He's the boring pick, right? People always want the flashier young players, stuff like that. But he's
Reliable, Joe Mixon?
reliable Joe Mixon,
Yeah,
yes.
I like Joe Mixon as well.
Yeah.
What's he got?
Next up is
Let him
James Cook.
Let him cook.
Mr. James
High-powered
Cook.
offense, James Cook. Is this the year we see possibly in 1,000-yard seasons rushing for James
Yes,
Cook?
I think we get maybe 1,100, 1,200 yards rushing. Towards the end of last year, you saw the Bills were more willing to run the ball, partly because Josh Allen was, getting intercepted a lot, and they like to ice out the games. I think James Cook now has less competition as running back, right? Latavius Murray's out of there. James Cook could possibly get the red zone touches, and let's not forget though, Josh Allen could vulture a lot of those rushing touchdowns.
Yeah.
However, James Cook is super talented, very good with the ball in his hands. He knows how to break tackles. He could create new running lanes, right, with his sharp cuts. I'm a big James Cook supporter, and I had him in a lot of leagues last year, and he won me a lot of games, and I like James Cook. I think
11-22. That's how many rushing yards he had last year. You think he goes higher or lower than that this year?
Higher.
Yeah.
Higher. I think so. The Bills are more.
It's there.
The Bills are more willing to run the ball now.
They're gonna be more reliant on it. I think.
Yep.
This guy's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I don't
He's
care. I
starting
don't
to
care how
age-
old he is.
Yeah.
But I'm curious your take.
So-
Alvin Kamara.
Yeah, he's starting to age a little bit. The beginning of his career, if you remember, like every time a player used to touch him, he bathed in Vaseline before. Like everyone just always slip off him. Like the first 3 years of his career, I was like, what the hell? Like, why can't they never tackle this guy? Alvin Kamara has a slim frame, but he's a big boy. He's 225. I think Alvin Kamara is not as good as he was when he was younger in his career, but he's still reliable. Derek Carr is a check down merchant, and he's going to check down the ball a lot to Alvin Kamara. And
the backup is the rookie from last year?
Correct.
Yeah. What's his name? Ingram? Kendra Miller.
Yeah.
Can you see him eating more carries?
No, I don't think Kendra Miller's
no
nothing special. No, I'm not a big fan of his.
Okay, I think Kamara has a similar year to last year.
Yeah,
but digresses a little bit.
Yeah. His yards per carry are not going to be good again this year. I don't think so because he's aging.
Yeah,
but he's going to get a lot of receptions.
The PPR in PPRs, I think he's a must draft.
Yeah, from where he's going.
Yeah,
absolutely. Like you can't beat it. He's going to put up like low running back 1 numbers.
Right.
And you're drafting him in like the 5th to 6th round.
Yeah.
You can't beat that.
Yeah.
So I think Alvin Kamara is a great buy from where he's going.
At the 5. Would you reach at 4 for him?
If you have 0 running backs, I'll get him late 4th.
Yeah.
So now this is Jahmyr Gibbs we're going to right now.
Jahmyr Gibbs?
Jahmyr Gibbs, yeah, whatever, man. All
right. Well, yeah, this player, he just got hurt.
Yeah, he just got hurt.
Jahmyr Gibbs, where do you have him?
I wasn't going to draft him even before he got hurt.
Really? He's a first-round projected pick.
Exactly. My issue with Jahmyr Gibbs is the fact that he has a good chance he's not even going to be leading his team in rushing attempts, right? David Montgomery is going to be leading his team in rushing attempts. Now, don't get me wrong. Jahmyr Gibbs is pretty explosive. However, I'm not drafting a running back that's not going to lead his team in rushing attempts. No, thank you.
Yeah.
And
in the first round.
Nonetheless.
Early second round, whatever it is.
No, thank you.
Well, I think he's right now, he's got to be a 3rd round pick. His value is definitely going down.
Who knows? Here's another thing, too.
Hamstring injury for a running back. He got hurt in June. Just got back from it 2 weeks ago.
I hate drafting skill position players with lower body injuries. Yeah. No, thank you.
Yeah, stay away. I would stay away from Jahmyr Gibbs, too.
Yeah.
Also, when they're both healthy, it's very I'd rather have David Montgomery when they're both healthy, and I'll tell you why. He's going to get the goal line no matter what.
Yeah.
Jahmyr Gibbs, granted, they do like the 1 drive yes, 1 drive no.
Exactly.
Drive Gibbs, 1 drive. But I feel like once it comes to goal line, Montgomery's the guy.
Jahmyr Gibbs gets the receptions, the explosive screen plays. But David Montgomery gets them too, though.
Yeah.
Like,
he's still more than capable. And I loved him on the Bears. Yeah. He had a great year last year. Now, this is where we get crazy.
Yeah.
Not crazy, but
we're talking Christian McCaffrey right now.
Christian McCaffrey, does he go 1 in history? No 1 player from last year, no number 1 ranked player from last year ever repeated. So it's like the Madden curse, right? What do you do with Christian McCaffrey?
But it's a safe pick, right?
So if you had the 1 pick, you would take Christian McCaffrey.
Me personally, guys, today, I probably would. And I'll tell you why. I'll do this because there's less high ceiling running backs than there are less high ceiling wide receivers. That's coming from someone that loves, drafting wide receivers. But I just feel like Christian McCaffrey at the 1st overall pick, you could get a lot of talented wide receivers in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, heck, even the 7th round. So I would definitely, if I had the 1st overall pick, this is why I have him here. Obviously, we all know Christian McCaffrey is good, right?
Yeah.
I have him here just to explain my process of why I would draft Christian McCaffrey first. I would draft Christian McCaffrey first and not draft the running back again until like the 9th round. Like seriously, that's how
confident.
That's how confident I am in him, and also how I would just want to load up on all the other positions.
Yeah, I mean he does put you in a good spot. I'll tell you what. If I had 3rd pick and McCaffrey slipped to me at 3, then I probably would take.
How about 1st?
I don't think I would take him at 1st.
Who would you take first? CD?
You didn't think I'm crazy. I would either go Bijan Robinson.
Okay. That's a little out of there.
Tyreek Hill.
Okay, yeah.
Or Jamar Chase.
Right.
Just because you think Bijan's out of there? Bijan Robinson, you don't have top 5?
Maybe like top 8.
Really?
I like my wide receivers.
Okay. So you just value
yeah
more receiver. Who's a better running back than? You had 2 of them probably. You're gonna say CMC and you're gonna say Breece Hall. You like Breece Hall more than Bijan?
I think so.
Okay. Do you have him on this list? Or no?
I think I do.
Okay.
So this is Rico Dowdy. I think obviously you're not drafting him. This is more of like a late round flyer. I think Rico Dowdy. You're gonna need to search for that, pal.
How do you spell Rico? R-I-K-O? or
R-I-C-O. R-I-C-O.
I know who he is. He's not even on this list right now.
Wow.
Top 50. That's why.
Yeah, he's low.
I gotta continue.
So this is a player that I would want to draft later on in drafts. I feel like he is the most talented Dallas Cowboys running back right now on their roster. He's going to be running – I think he's going to run circles around Ezekiel Elliott. I think Ezekiel Elliott is going to still get those goal line carries. However, I do think Rico could, clear around like 50 total yards every game with like a couple of receptions. I think he's a great value pick at where he's going. And if, Ezekiel Elliott ever gets injured, you're looking at, a high-end running back too in an offense that moves the ball, right? So I think Rico is a great, great, great value pick. Obviously, you're not drafting him to be your starter, but he's just a good value pick, and I think you should definitely consider drafting him.
Ranked 39th.
Yeah.
Running back. So it's worth the late round flyer.
Exactly.
Honestly. Well,
I'm not just giving you the studs, guys. I want to give you everything.
Yeah.
This is Jacques Charbonnet.
Yeah. This is gonna be interesting.
Yeah. So
what do you think about him?
So here's another player. I'm pretty high on Zach Charbonnet too, because like I said, the Seattle Seahawks like to mix their running backs in, right? They kind of do the same thing as, like you said, with the Detroit Lions. This one in, this one in. This drive, you get it. This drive, you get it. If Kenneth Walker, who has been injured before, gets injured, you're looking at a low-end running back one, right? He's going to be their 3-down back. He's a great value pick, and he's the type of player that you're going to draft, and you'll just leave him on your bench just in case, something happens to one of the running backs. And if you drafted Kenneth Walker, I would 100% draft Zach Charbonnet because you'll be covered at that running back position no matter what, because he's going to be getting the production as well.
So do you see them only working if one gets hurt? Or can you see this being like
Kenneth Walker will work. Will be able to get his stats with Charbonnet there, but Charbonnet won't be getting his stats if Kenneth Walker's there.
Okay, so you're kind of hoping for you don't want him to get hurt, poor guy, but
no.
Like, if the opportunity
This
rises,
is a late round flyer.
Okay.
So he's going, 43rd?
Yeah.
So this is a late round flyer. 49th, even later
look who
than
else
I
is
thought.
there? Kendre Miller.
This is a late round flyer.
Nick Chubb, who's still, recovering.
From
Antonio
that
Gibson.
gruesome injury, yeah.
This is a late round flyer. That you can
Exactly.
If you're gonna go backup, you might as well go him.
High flyers, right?
Oh, okay.
This is Brooks. I think he's going in the 30 range.
Rare, yeah. Carolina.
Yep. So this is a good pick also. There's very minimal competition for a back that's this talented, right? All he has to do is pretty much beat out Chuba Hubbard to be like their workhorse back. Chuba Hubbard, yes, he's all right, but I think this is easily a backfield that this guy could take in a stranglehold. Right now, he was injured for a little bit, but I think he's back in. He's back to training right now, and he should be good to go by the beginning of the year. And I definitely feel like the beginning of the year, he's not going to have those explosive games, but as the year progresses, like we see a lot with rookie running backs, they start to get more hang of the offense, and they could become workhorse running backs. I think he's a more of a player to think of towards the end of the football season. And if Bryce Young takes a step forward, you got yourself a great value pick here. So I think he's a great value pick.
for where he is,
yeah.
Let's see, he's going at 21st. That could be a nice late round flyer.
And that's a little.
I wouldn't draft him 5th, 6th round where he's projected, but
in the other mock drafts, he was going the 8th rounds.
Okay.
Yeah. So
what's this red thing I'm seeing next to his name?
Injured, because he was injured. He was.
Okay.
He had that little injury, but he's fine.
All right, I don't want to take up too much more time. We could maybe cover this another time.
Yeah, this is
Devin Singletary, and then we'll just do one player we really, really, really like that we haven't spoke about.
Devin Singletary is a great value pick.
On the New York Giants.
New York Giants. I had to put a New York Giant because Rocco was going to make me do this show if I didn't put a New York Giant in there. Let's go figure. But I think Devin Singletary is a great value pick. He has very, very, very little competition for running back touches, especially what Saquon Barkley doing a Judas to you guys going to Philly, right?
Yeah.
He did
you
you guys
watch
dirty.
the,
Yeah, I did.
what's it called? Hard Knocks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, I think Devin Singletary. I'm gonna keep it short, like you said. Devin Singletary is a great value pick. He could, do a lot.
He's the 30th ranked running back.
Yeah.
So. Give me one player you really, 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 really like this year.
Okay. Out of all the positions, right?
Yeah, any position.
So I'll give you guys one quarterback. I'll give you guys one quarterback we could talk about, then one tight end, and then running low on time, right?
We'll wrap up in 10.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So I think Aaron Rodgers is a great value pick. They didn't bring him into New York, just to run the ball. They trust him to take those deep shots down the field. They drafted talented rookies. They added Mike Williams. They added some of the players that he wanted, like Cobb, who retired now actually, but whatever. But I'm just saying, like, they trust him. Garrett Wilson should be having a great year. Breece Hall, amazing with the ball in his hands, especially in the screen game. I definitely feel like Aaron Rodgers is who's going right now around like 17th, I believe, or the 18th quarterback. I definitely feel like he's good value, and he could be a good player to have as a backup quarterback in your fantasy drafts. So yeah, I would draft Aaron Rodgers. I think
I can see that.
Safe pick.
What I will disagree with a little bit. First and foremost, I think Garrett Wilson has his best career year to date. I mean, it's inevitable. He's had Zach Wilson throwing to him.
Yeah.
Now it's Rodgers who gets the shot.
Yeah.
Hopefully he doesn't get hurt, the second play of the game again or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But
he
he
had a nice highlight last year, though.
Yeah. The ceiling is there for Garrett Wilson. I am not buying into the hype regarding Breece Hall. Like, a lot of his scores last year were not crucial touchdowns, crucial points. It was just because the Jets were down so much.
I love Breece
They
Hall.
were just kept feeding Breece because he was the only good thing on the offense.
Love Breece Hall. He has that juice.
Yeah.
He has that juice.
I don't think he's worth RB2. I don't see how.
I think he's good, man.
From what I've seen in years past, whenever a player he's probably the most hyped up player this year.
Yeah.
In all drafts, I don't see players living up to that hype because it's just unexpectedly too high.
Right.
But if you like him, you like him. I'm
Yeah.
not here to sway your opinion. I just
Right.
don't think Breece Hall's worth that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pick. I'd rather have a guy like CMC or Bijan Robinson.
Okay.
But that's just me,
Right.
That's not to say he's not going to have a great year. He's
No,
going
I
to have
hear
a great
you.
year.
Yeah,
I wouldn't feel comfortable drafting him.
Now, you feel comfortable drafting him over Gibbs, though, right? Something like
of course.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
If you give me a comparison. All right. So go ahead. Tell me.
So, like, let's say Breece Hall or Saquon. Saquon's going, like, early second.
Nah, I would take Breece Hall there.
Okay.
Yeah.
But now, Justin Jefferson or Breece Hall, who would you take?
Justin Jefferson.
Okay.
I don't even know who the hell's throwing him the ball.
Yeah.
Sam
but
Darnold?
Yeah, but Sam Darnold should be doing.
As a Skull fan,
Yeah.
what are your expectations this year?
For Justin Jefferson?
Yeah.
He should, like, I say 1,300 yards, 1,400 yards.
Does he finish top 5 receiver?
Yeah.
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 Okay. Would you rather Justin Jefferson or Tyreek Hill?
It's tough. Probably Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
Ty-
just.
Okay.
They're
Tyreek
just
Hill or Jamar Chase?
Tyreek Hill.
Over Jamar, just for the upside, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, but I love Jamar Chase this year too.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting. One player I really love this year, and that's just because I was so big on him last year and he didn't produce. I mentioned him earlier. Is Bijan Robinson?
Yeah.
He's a 3-down back. I
Yeah.
see him getting the respect he finally deserves. A coach that actually is going to give him what he needs, and that's reps.
I saw some camp talk though that they still want to work in Tyson Algier, but nowhere near as much as they did last year.
He can get his 5 to 7 carries.
Yeah.
If that's going to be your only concern again, I guess.
But they have Raheem Morris is there now, so they know.
Yeah, they know what they got.
Yeah.
They got a really good offense this year, and it would be a shame to see it go to waste again.
Yeah.
They should be in winning situations just because their defense is so
Right.
good. Jesse Bates is like the number one ranked defender, and I think
Yeah.
all the league. So
Yeah.
their defense is elite, and they should be in winning game script.
Yeah, winning grip.
Yeah.
game flow.
So, and I think that's going to be important.
But Bijan is. Here's another thing too. Like
he's
it's
a
good.
freak of nature. He's so athletic.
But not even that. So like, I like to draft running backs that are game script independent, which means that whether their team is up by 14 or they're down by 14, they could still get fantasy production, right? So in order to be a 3 down, in order to be game script independent, you have to be good at running the ball and also catching the ball. So that's why someone like Christian McCaffrey, Breece Hall, Bijan Robinson, they're great picks because no matter what, they're game flow independent.
Yeah.
So stuff like that.
All right. So our second part of this and the last part of this is what we haven't really spoke about too much. We'll cover next episode some more tight ends, some stuff like that. Do you want to mention this guy real quick?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
All right, I'm sorry.
Nah, go ahead.
Sorry, Rocchino.
Speaking of the Falcons, go ahead.
So, I had a couple of tight ends. We didn't even talk about Sam Laporta, who's Italian. It's a sin we didn't talk about.
That's our paisan right there.
Yeah, that's our paisan.
Does he repeat last year's performance?
He's the tight end 1.
Yeah, that's
I don't
high.
know.
That's very
crazy.
tough, man.
Yeah. But anyway, we're going to talk about Kyle Pitts. I think Kyle Pitts is a screaming value right now. If it's not going to happen now, it never will.
I mean, I've been down this road too many times. He's not my do not draft list.
I mean,
any Falcons receiver, I just got burned. Drake London last year.
Yeah.
Pitts 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
I just can't do it again.
So I think Kyle Pitts is a screaming value. I think he could clear 1,000 yards this year if Kirk Cousins feeds him the ball.
Yeah,
and
they actually have a throwing quarterback, so it's possible.
Exactly. Exactly. Kirk Cousins, he Judased us, right? He left us.
Yeah.
But I really feel like now's the time for Kyle Pitts to explode.
You saw what he did with Hawkinson, Kirk Cousins.
Exactly.
So can you expect similar numbers from Kyle Pitts?
So Hawkinson's a different type of tight end. Hawkinson's he could block somewhat. Kyle Pitts is an through and through wide receiver.
Yeah.
Like Kyle Pitts is way more. I'm not saying he's a better tight end, but he's way more athletic than T.J. Hawkinson. So yeah, I think T.J. Hawkinson. I think Kyle Pitts is gonna have a great year. I think I could see him clearing 1,000 yards easily.
Moving on to our next segment. Hope you enjoyed the fantasy football talk. We'll have more for you next week. But moving on to our next segment, we're gonna have the locks of the week, of the day, whatever you want to call it, till we do it again.
Yeah, we're not just talking football, guys. We got
some good stuff here.
We talk a lot about everything.
It's gonna be a little friendly competition between me and Carmine over here. We're gonna start with $100, fake money.
Yeah.
And our unit size is going to be $10. Our unit size is going to be $10. I personally will be tailing all these bets. We're going to see who has a better record and who finishes with the most.
Yeah.
We'll figure out the punishment later on.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you, I could tell the way Carmine bets, the way I bet, you'll end up with either way less or way more money than Carmine. And the reason I say that is my personal lock of the day, that's tonight. We got the Chicago White Sox versus the New York Yankees. The Yankees lost yesterday. I think they're going to come back with a vengeance. And who other than Aaron Judge to hit a home run? Plus 200 odds on FanDuel. Best value play right there. If you're not as risky, go over 1.5 total bases. So, yeah, that's my lock of the day. Rocks, Aaron Judge to hit a dinger. So plus 200.
Here's my thing, Rocchino. I was explaining this, right? I don't like betting home run props because, like I was saying to you before, like, if a pitcher does not want to give a very talented batter a nice pitch to hit, he ain't getting that home run. And nothing worse than seeing
4 walks
or like 2 walks, 1 single, and 1 strikeout. Like it's just I don't have the stomach to bet.
Oh, you're waiting for that one pitch?
I don't have the stomach for that. I just don't have the stomach for it.
And if he misses it, it's like, oh my
God. Yeah, I just don't have the stomach for it. And sometimes let's say a relief pitcher will come in, he'll purposely walk him. Because they want no part of him. I just don't have the stomach for that. I don't like to bet.
You see what it is? I can't start this off with a minus 1,000 bet. You know what I mean? What's the fun in that?
Right.
So $10 to win $20. Aaron Judge dinger.
Okay.
Come on, what you got?
So my lock of the day, right? So right before, could I get it at minus 290? It was at minus 290 when I liked it. Now it's now it got juiced up to minus 410.
Whatever it is, Al, we'll figure it out when we post it.
So my lock is Christian Mbili. He's a boxer that's going to be fighting on Saturday in Montreal, Canada. You guys know I like I love my boxing, so that's where I win a lot of money is boxing and sometimes MMA, but I'm really good at boxing. So I think Christian Mbili is a great pick. I think he's gonna beat his challenger. I can't pronounce his name, Sergey Derevyanchenko. The fighter that Christian Mbili's fighting is he has a lot of mileage on him. He's already lost 5 fights. And he's been with heavy hitters in the ring. He lost to fighters like Golovkin, Adames, James Munguia. So he lost to a lot of talented fighters. And like I said, he's been in a lot of wars, grueling matches as well. I don't see a knockout happening because if he was able to survive 12 rounds with Golovkin, I think that he should be able to survive 12 rounds with Mbili. But Mbili is known for his reckless motor, and he's looking for knockouts from like the first round on. I see a unanimous decision win. Even if the fight is close, I think they're still gonna give it to Mbili because he's the A-side fighter, and he's the younger fighter, and they could build up for him to get championship fights and bigger fights. So even if the fight is close, they're gonna still give it to Mbili. So I think Mbili is a safe bet. I would definitely bet him.
All right, sounds good. So those are your 2 locks for the day. You got one on Saturday, one tonight.
Yeah.
Make sure to get onto those.
Parlay them if you want, whatever.
All right, parlay them, a little sprinkle in there. Yeah. Instead of plus 200, it's plus 210.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's worth it, but listen, thank you guys for tuning in to the first ever episode of Crunching the Numbers. We hope you guys enjoy this segment. We're going to roll out a bunch of these short clips for you guys to all enjoy. If you missed the full show, it'll be a little more interactive and easier way for you to get information that we're talking about today. But Carmine, thank you for doing this with me.
Thank you.
It's going to be a fun ride, my brother.
It's going to be a fun ride, a long ride and a successful ride.
Let's
for
do it, baby.
Us and you guys. Don't forget that.
All right. Good luck, everybody. Till next time.
Ciao.